Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Russia comes with three options for coping with the EU's oil cap, price cap on Russian oil. And they said, okay, we're going to come with these three options as retaliatory measures, or at least to defend our interests. This article comes from Sputnik and is from today, which is the 7th of December 2022. Moscow reportedly mulls three options to retaliate against EU price cap on Russian oil. Earlier this week, Russia's Deputy Prime Minister Alexander Novak warned that the introduction of a price cap on Russian oil can only lead to a decrease in global investments in the industry, which in turn will lead to an increase in prices. Moscow is considering three possible options to respond to the introduction of a price cap on Russian oil by the EU and G7, a Russian newspaper reported. The news outlet cited several unnamed sources close to the government as saying that the first scenario stipulates a full-blown ban on the sale of Russian crude to those states, including G7 members who supported the price cap, even if they purchased the oil from Russia through intermediaries or their chain. Remember, this cap is only for the seaborne oil. That means the thing that comes from blah 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 ships. Right? Not the one that would come through pipes or third parties or whatever they. So these weasels, which is the EU, tries not to go straight face to face with Russia. Why? Because they still depend on Russian oil, they still depend on Russian gas, they still depend on cheap, I'm talking about cheap, and not only cheap, availability of resources that Russia has in excess. So they will try to, they say, well, we're going to try to wane away little by little. I don't think you will ever. I think you just buy time for Ukraine to, not Ukraine, the Americans to have enough in Ukraine and realize that, hey, we kind of failed, or maybe not. Fail meaning could not kneel Russia yet. So they will say, well, let's have a little armistice here. And the Ukrainians will be willing to accept this and that and that. Russians will not accept anything less than their 4 points that they started the operation. So they probably, the Westerners, these weasels in the European Union, they wait for that to happen, the war to end somehow. And when that happens, they immediately going to say, well, sanctions are up. We're good to go again. Business as usual, at least here. You're not going to be, if they win, if win means Putin and all his guys are hanged, that's meaning win. And the other side takes over Russia, as in 1991, where you say, well, we got Yeltsin. Yeah, Yeltsin was not there. He was with his other problems. So if that happens, then yes, everything was going to be business as usual, raping Russia for everything it gets. Now, that's one. If the Americans had enough, as I said, and they stopped the thing, they're going to start slowly. But they will still start. Now, United States, it's okay if we deal with Russia again? And the United States says, no, keep buying my freaking expensive liquefied natural gas and the oil I'm going to send from Venezuela to you at the price I already determined. So you guys shoot yourself in the foot. The $60 a barrel that supposedly the European Union decided. You think they didn't call the United States and ask, hey buddy, what do you think, buddy? Right, so this is the first one. The second option envisions a ban on oil exports under contracts that includes a price cap release clauses, regardless of which country acts as a recipient, according to the insiders. They added that under the third scenario, a measure pertaining to an indicative price may be introduced. This price defines the maximum Russian Urals oil discount with respect to the Brent crude, and a potential deal will not be approved if the discount is increased. The sources claimed, without elaborating, that other alternatives options are a combination of them are also on the table. This comes after EU clinched an agreement on setting a price cap on Russian oil at $60 per barrel, which went into effect on Monday. Poland and Ukraine said that's too much. They said it should be 30 and below. $30 per barrel. Okay, I guess you like it for free. And these guys like capitalism, we're told. Yep. The cap will be reviewed every 2 months to remain at 5% below International Energy Agency benchmark. The G7 nations and Australia also agreed that same day to set a $60 price ceiling on oil from Russia. Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov underscored that the cost of Russian oil after the introduction of a price cap by the West will alter. And I'm quoting Mr. Peskov. The price will change. One thing is clear and undeniable. The adoption of these decisions is a step towards destabilizing global energy markets, end quote. Peskov told reporters when asked if Europeans and the world should prepare for higher prices as the US convinces allies that nothing will change. We'll find out, right? Russia's Deputy Prime Minister Alexander Novak, for his part, pointed out that Russian oil has been and will be in demand while logistics chains will change. And I'm quoting, Russian oil is in demand on global markets. Oil will find its buyers. Russia is the world's largest supplier of oil to global energy markets. Russian oil has always been in demand and will be in demand. Yes, the logistics mechanisms and chains will change now. Nevertheless, we do not see any tragedy in this, end quote, Novak stressed. Well, I got the food and you need the food. And you want me to give you the food that you need at your price. Imagine you go to the marketplace, all right, or you go to a store and say, you know what, you sell a gallon of milk for $3.50. That's how much it is right now, from 86 cents. It was 86 cents about a year and a half ago when Trump said bye-bye to you guys, see you next time. It was 86 cents. So half, it was less than $1, okay? And now it's $3.60 some, $3.60 in 2 years. Well, we're doing great. You're doing great. And they tell us the inflation is about 8% or 9%. Really? In 2 years? From 86 cents to 364 cents or something? I bought milk yesterday, so I'm up to date with that one. And that is the cheapest I buy. The cheapest. There's more? I don't know. I saw at another store, it was comparable, but not, you know, like, oh my God, it's $2.50 or something, or $6. But we're getting there. So yes, it's like you go to the store and say, yeah, I don't want to, no, I need the milk to survive, but I'm not going to buy it for $3.64, my man. And the store guy is going to say, okay, how much you want? But let's say I'm going to give you $1.50. And the store owner will say, okay, I will give it because I need the money to get rich and you need the money to, I need the money to get rich and you need the milk to survive. Who's got the upper hand here? You or I? The store owner or you? Well, it's okay if you don't buy it. I'm just going to shrink my business. And maybe in 20 years I'm going to file for bankruptcy, or maybe when these idiots are going to be bye-bye, then things will change. But by then, do you have 20 years to wait? Do you have 5 years to wait? Do you have a month to wait? With no food? Don't buy. Don't buy food for a month. Don't eat for a month. I think that's going to be prolonging forever. So yeah, this is, you show up in front of someone and say, I'm not going to buy your Mercedes, man, unless you give it for, I don't know, $5. Okay, fuck off. See you next time, which is never, when you agree to negotiate the terms. But what, you come with $60 per barrel when the barrel was what, 120 at one point, or 130, and some people say it's going to jump to 350. It was an article I made about when they were talking about putting this cap, And there were some experts who said, well, if this is going to happen, Russia is not going to give them oil as they said, and the price will jump on the barrel $360 some dollars, he said. And this guy, oh, the cap is $60. You're not going to have shit. No more, no soup for you. That's what it's going to be. No oil for you, bye-bye. And as I said, markets will always be found. The thing is, can you, the big guy, impose, I'm going to hit you if you buy from Russia? Can they do that? China and India are big enough to suck Russian oil. So it's, you know, but they think the United States thinks that right now they got Maduro's by something, and they will open up Venezuela. All of a sudden, virtue goes out the window and money comes in as always. So they try to probably go and they already got what's that, Amoco or whatever it is, Sunoco, whatever companies right now in Venezuela. I can't remember the name. I think Amoco it is, maybe not. Anyway, it's based in California. I can't remember it. It's the company that is allowed to do business with Venezuela. United States dictates how much oil Venezuela can give to whom and at what price. And Venezuela is a sovereign free country. Actually, yeah. So you know what I mean? Yeah, the same thing with Russia. Exactly like that. They want to do with Russia exactly the same way. But the problem is Russia has nuclear weapons and is a little bit stronger than Venezuela, let's put it this way. Unless you, all the guys over there on top and get over the military and you are able to control it like you controlled it from 1991 to 1999 when Putin parachuted in the Kremlin. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth and be just.